Welcome to the Weather Gurus podcast. This is your tropical update. We're going to be focusing specifically on Hurricane Earl. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel for the latest tropical news and world weather news as it becomes available. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you for joining me. Right now, we're looking at the satellite view, infrared satellite loop as Hurricane Earl continues to intensify. The hurricane hunters are out there now. Right now, winds are sustained at 105 miles an hour. Makes it just a healthy category 2 on its way to a category 3 here. And as you can see, we're going to get into some of the dynamics here. Currently, it's approaching Bermuda from the southeast, south-southeast. Its closest point of approach to the Bermuda Islands in the Atlantic would be 88 miles to the southeast of Bermuda. So Bermuda will be on the western side, which is the weaker side, obviously, of this system. But however, some hurricane force gusts cannot be ruled out of the question at this time, out of the possibilities here. So looking back at it, hurricane force winds extend out about 60 miles from the center of this storm. Once again, maximum sustained winds at 105 miles an hour. The latest advisory from the Hurricane Center will be out in the next hour at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And right now, the minimum sensor pressure is 965 millibars and falling. Now, Bermuda has a hurricane watch and a tropical storm warning in effect. Conditions are expected to rapidly deteriorate starting later on tonight, getting closer to around midnight when the conditions will be at its strongest between midnight and 3 a.m. as the system accelerates and passes to the north-northeast from the southeast to the north-northeast of Bermuda. So we have hurricane force winds extending out 60 miles. It'll be very close. But tropical storm winds extend out to 160 miles. So that tells me that Bermuda will be more so in the tropical storm conditions. As you see the water vapor loop here, you can see it moving its way north, and it's starting to make that northeast turn right now as we approach the late afternoon hours. The water vapor shows a very healthy outflow of the system, as you can see, fanning out in all directions here. The eye looks a little ragged. It's an open eye a little bit in the southeast or the northeast quadrant. However, very healthy convection around the center on that eye wall there means that it is strengthening, and it will be a category 3 major hurricane as we approach the midnight hour. Now, Bermuda is 1 hour ahead of Eastern Standard Time for those of you that are keeping track, and this is the marine area. This is from the local Bermuda Weather Service here. You can see the 25 nautical mile marine area, and you can see those rain bands approaching here, just about getting into the zone. So Bermuda will be in tropical storm force winds coming up here probably just after sunset, nightfall. So sometime between 8 and 10 p.m. their time and 7 p.m. Eastern time, they'll begin to get into those tropical storm force winds there, which is 39 miles an hour and above, as you know. So you can see it here. You see the fanning clouds. Some of the outer bands are already approaching the island. They've had on and off squally showers, but the worst of the weather is going to be expected tonight, where we can get winds maybe in excess of 40 to 50 knots, so around 60 to 70 miles an hour. And maybe a few gusts occasionally getting above 75 miles an hour on the eastern end of the island. So St. George's, some of the eastern parishes. Remember, Bermuda is only 21 square miles long. And so because of which, guys, it's very hard to get a direct hit. The last time they had a direct hit, almost a direct hit, was Hurricane Fabian back in 2003. And that was a Category 3 Hurricane 2 with 120 miles an hour winds. And that stayed that way. The hurricane force wind stayed on the island for about 6 to 8 hours. So that made a big difference. And but Bermuda's very well constructed. As you know, the concrete buildings there's no plywood like we have in America, and so it's very well constructed, and they typically don't suffer damage from tropical storms and stuff like that, and hurricanes, unless they're above Category 3 or something happened that stays on the island. So there's quick moving here. As you can see, Earl is going to be a quick one and done deal. By Saturday afternoon, Earl will be well away from Bermuda, and conditions will be improving, and it'll be just like a regular day, late summer day there once again. Seas will still be high along the east coast. Of course, whip currents are a threat, and Bermuda. The seas will most of the beaches on the south shore of Bermuda, but this swells will be coming from the swells will be coming more from the south southeast, and then eventually the swells will be coming from the northeast, and those swells will be affecting the south shore beaches somewhat inside the reef and beyond outside the reef as well. So it's going to be a quick hitting system. That is a blessing. As you can see here, the convection here, it will be first major hurricane of the year. And it will be going into cooler water. So it'll be weakening after it passes Bermuda a couple hundred miles to the northeast. It'll be weakening out of major hurricane strength and turning extratropical, just as Danielle did in this previous path here. One other thing to note here is that it may be going through a eye wall replacement cycle, or ERC, after it passes Bermuda, and before it turns extratropical. So look out for that too as well here. And with Bermuda being on the western side, there's a lesser chance of tornadoes and water spouts, unlike last time when they were on the eastern side when they had a major hurricane that hit Fabian, when they had the eastern side come through the eastern eye wall. So, and Nicole too as well, and they had Gonzago, Gustavo a few years ago too as well. But in this storm, we're on the western side, so less chance of tornadoes or water spouts activity. However, strong winds, north winds, veering first from the north and then from the northwest as the storm passes to the northeast. And so that's, and possibly some thunderstorm and lightning, but beneficial rain to the island. As you know, the island collects water, rainwater through the roofs, like most islands, and through the hypersalinic limestone roofs, white limestone roofs, and so it's gonna be beneficial rain. 1 to 3 inches of rain is possible. Some areas on the eastern end, from St. George's back through Smiths Parish and all of that, Warwick Parish, and may pick up an additional 4 inches maximum. That's what we're looking at, 4 inches, because the storm is moving so quickly, guys. It's going to be accelerating here, as you can see. Right now, it's moving at already at northeast at 11 knots or 13 miles. It's going to be even accelerating even faster. It's not going to be a heavy flash flooding or rain event, like we normally would have with a hurricane. So you're looking at a maximum of 3 to 4 inches of rain, which is absolutely great. They need the rain there, and this is absolutely fabulous thing. Elsewhere in the tropics, we have two other little areas of concern here. This one's going to be our next named tropical depression. All of these storms, by the way, are no threat to the United States, Caribbean, or the Mexican area as well as Central America. These storms are going to make a big hard turn to the right, just like Earl and the rest are going to be making here as they come off the African coast, because we're in a trough pattern that's blocking these storms from getting into anywhere close to the United States, Caribbean, or any other area. So the active tropics are here, and this will continue through October 10th. But the real stories have been, in terms of hitting tropics, have been in the not eastern Pacific, but K, as it continues to make its way up Baja California, and they've had some trouble there with power outages and different things. And the Central Pacific looks quiet, and our prayers and thoughts are with those in the typhoon season. As you know, Typhoon Hinemora hit last week, affecting South Korea, Busan, one of the second largest port cities, and other places as well. So I just want to bring you this update for the Atlantic hurricane season. Please be sure to subscribe. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you very soon for the next update. Thank you.